Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and I decided sort of last minute to shoot this video for you this morning because I'm going to be making arroz con leche, or sweet rice. I never really considered this a rice pudding because growing up we never had this as a dessert. It was always more of a hot breakfast cereal. It's made with simple ingredients that you probably already have at home, and it's absolutely delicious. But first, coffee. The way I make arroz con leche is very simple. I don't use sweetened condensed milk. I don't use evaporated milk like you may see in other recipes. What you see here is all I use. And I don't really measure either, although today I'm going to do my best to measure for you, and I'll put all that information in the description box below. But I'm starting off with about a heaping cup of long grain rice, and I don't rinse it. I just use it straight out of the container. You'll need about 3 cups of water. Got a couple of cups of milk, although I may be using a little more. And preferably you'll want to use whole milk, although I'm using 2%, it still works out. I use a dash of vanilla extract, a couple of cinnamon sticks, as well as some ground cinnamon for garnish in the end, and a pinch of salt. Again, not necessarily in order, but it is early, so let's go ahead and get started. So I've got my pot heating on the stove over medium-high heat, and I'm just going to add in that heaping cup of rice. That looks about right. And I'm going to add in the water. I'll add in the 2 cinnamon sticks, and then just a pinch of salt, which is probably, that's actually fine. About 1/4 teaspoon should be about right. And all I'm going to do now is let this come to a boil. And once it boils, I'm going to lower it to a slow simmer and just let all that water evaporate or really cook into the rice. All right, it's now come to a boil. It really doesn't take long for that to happen. And I'm just going to lower the heat and just continue to let it simmer. And all the water is going to be absorbed into the rice. Should probably take maybe 15-20 minutes or so, but I'll time it for you. All right, it's been 15 minutes. And now that it looks like this, I'm going to go ahead and pour in the milk. And it looks like the 2 cups is just about right. I may add a tiny bit more, but let me go ahead and add in the splash of vanilla now. That was a little more than a splash. Fortunately, I love vanilla. So it just dawned on me that I actually left out one of the main ingredients, sugar. You can't have sweet rice without sugar, but that's what happens when you get cocky. I was saying earlier how it's so simple. What you see is all I use. Now, I would suggest starting with about 1/2 cup and then taste it and see if it's sweet enough for you. And then if it's not, add more. I like things really sweet, so like I already know me. I kind of like probably use this much, which is almost about a cup. But again, you've got to make this for your taste. Just stir that all in. And I think I am going to add just a tiny bit more milk. Okay, so this is about another 1/2 cup of milk. But this too will depend on your own preference. If you like it more runny or more thick, the consistency. It's all up to you. That's the beauty of this recipe, is it's just very simple, very customizable, and very good. This is coming along nicely. You can feel free to stir at any point now, just to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom of the pan. How do y'all like my spoons? With a little smile. They were actually a gift from one of my sisters. I have 2 sisters. Actually, I'm the youngest of 5 kids. And really, I was so fortunate to grow up in a home where my mother always cooked and she taught us how to cook. So I definitely remember her making sweet rice, especially in the winter. In the winters, we would have oatmeal or cream of wheat or sweet rice. And sweet rice was always a favorite for me. I talk about my mom a lot because she taught me so much. But what you probably should know is that she did work outside of the home. And one of the jobs that she had for a very long time was with the extension program at New Mexico State University, where she taught nutrition. So I would actually go along with her as a little girl. She would go into people's homes and she would teach them how to cook nutritious meals on a budget. So that was a big part of what she did, a big part of what I grew up with. And so I guess I just kind of got that from her. I love cooking and I love showing others how to do it as well. All right, this is pretty much done. I'm gonna sprinkle in just a tiny bit more cinnamon. Go ahead and serve myself. Let me turn that off. And grab my bowl. Get another spoon. This looks so good. Some people like to put raisins in their arroz con leche, but the only thing I like on mine is maybe just a little extra cinnamon because it makes it just sweet and cinnamony comfort food. Ooh, that's so delicious. I should have probably blown on it more because it is hot. But so good. I really hope you try this. And by the way, if you're looking for more of a rice pudding, a dessert type of recipe, I did make my mother-in-law's Portuguese rice pudding, and I'll include a link for that. Really delicious, right along the same lines with the sort of the same flavors, but definitely more of a custard. Let me know in the comments if you grew up eating arroz con leche or if you make it yourself now. I would love to hear from you. Also, subscribe and click that notification bell if you haven't already done so. That way you don't miss any one of my recipes. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook.
Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.